Hi folks, hope you're doing well. Right, this video is talking about there's an awful lot of unrest right now in society, certainly in the UK, and there's going to be unrest all over the place, I think. Part of the reason why there's such unrest is because the governments have lied to us, continually lied to us. They told us with regards to COVID, oh, when this happens, things get better. Oh, when this happens, things get better. Oh, when this happens, things get better. And then they just keep things exactly the same. Over the years, they've systematically tried to, control people's ability to march or protest or do any of that. So, of course, at the moment, people are trying to do that, and they're bringing out new police laws, or trying to. The government are trying also to have a bill now to say that they can have emergency powers with regards to COVID until October. Yeah. So at any point in time, they can lock down the country completely. Based on what? Nobody knows. Based on nothing, basically. So, you've got a situation where they told us, and, they were so happy to tell us, once we have a vaccine, things will change. Well, we have a vaccine, and now certainly it's a case where most of the people, up to about the age of 50, have had the jab. At least the first jab. So therefore, according to their own figures, those people are 60-something% protected against COVID. So there's a massive amount of the population, certainly the most vulnerable people, have already got at least a degree of protection from COVID. And yet we're still locked down. The pubs are still closed. The hospitality areas of the economy are still shut. High streets are empty, shops are closing down, businesses are going out of business. Because the government is still being led completely by fear. But then you have police using heavy-handed tactics on protesters. So there's a retired officer yesterday on talk radio talking about the Bristol protests, and that was apparently quite bad. I didn't see it. I don't watch the news. But from what I've heard from talk radio and from people going on talk radio talking about it, there were protesters, or apparent protesters, trying to set a police van alight with police still in the van. I mean, that is bad. Seriously bad. That is really bad indeed. But it does point to something. There's an awful lot of anger right now. An awful lot of anger. And I guarantee you, well, sorry, I can't guarantee you. That's wrong. I think it's pretty much a certainty that if we have many more situations, because the other day, the police were being quite out of order. There's video footage of the police giving a protester a good kicking, which is way beyond their scope of powers of arrest or anything like that. Kick someone when they're on the floor? No, that's disgusting. You're a police officer. Come on. You should do better. You should know that your emotions, keep your emotions out of it. I understand fully. I mean, from my own little perspectives, when I do videos, I did a video last night. That video has recently been uploaded. When I was making that video was about an hour and a half long. What I uploaded was half an hour long, because there was a lot of emotion, and the emotion had to be taken out of it, because the emotion had nothing to do with it. Sometimes it's appropriate, not for me, not the police, but sometimes for me it's appropriate to put a raw video online if it's a good teaching opportunity. If it's something that people can learn from, then that's great. Do that. That's fine. But generally speaking, no. Emotion is going to be taken out of it. Yeah, that's not helpful. It really isn't. Yes, raw sometimes can be helpful, but generally speaking, not really. Most of the time, and the police certainly know that's not your job. Your job is to control the scene. If you can't control yourself, how can you control your scene? And if you are allowed to get out of control, and one thing I did say yesterday, Julie HartleyBrewer was interviewing someone who's involved with the police about that protest and about what was happening. At no point in time did she challenge that police officer about the behaviour of police only a few days earlier. I think she should have done. Because I think what we saw in Bristol was a reaction to partly that, and partly the frustrations over lockdown and people's lives just being stopped, basically. It's But this one on YouTube now is Bristol protest, retired officer predicts all out anarchy by end of 2021. I think that's quite likely. I think it could be a lot earlier. I think by the summer. Because I think that there's an incredible amount of anger right now. So that's my phone. The text message, as you would have heard. It's a case where when you've got people like Whitty, certainly in the UK, making decisions, and those decisions are impacting real people, and the people making decisions don't take into account what real people are going through. Gee, 1 second. It's nice to have a funny little alert tone for messages. Not so flipping nice when you're trying to do a serious video about a serious issue and suddenly someone sends you 3 text messages. It's just annoying. That was my friend Stuart. Was supposed to be going out for a walk today. He cancelled to say he's busy. Now he's come back and sent 3 messages basically just asking me, simple question, do I want to go out at 4 p.m. today, because he's now free. So he could have just said that. 3 messages. Okay. There you go. But yeah, with regards to the anarchy situation, it's it's bad out there right now. Mental health is bad. People are struggling right now. Really, 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 really struggling right now. And because of that, add to the fact that people are losing their jobs. Hope is being lost. There's a lot of things being lost right now. And the politicians don't care. There has been a simple answer to this from day one. As soon as they knew about the virus, as soon as they knew the people that are vulnerable, They should have said straight away, if you're vulnerable, stay home. If you're not vulnerable, go work, go do what you want to do. Just understand, if you come down with COVID, stay at home. Stay at home for 2 weeks until you've recovered. Yeah. Hospitals may get busy. Generally speaking, in winter, hospitals get busy. Every flipping winter, hospitals get busy. Prepare for it. They did in the end. They had the Nightingale hospitals. They could have just done that anyway. They didn't even use them in the end. Instead, they knocked down the country completely. They basically created a huge amount of debt going forward. Caused huge health problems, mental health certainly. A lot of people who had ongoing conditions couldn't or weren't going to hospital for whatever reason, through their choice or the hospital's choice, to get treatment. So, chances that they're going to die from a condition that was treatable before then became quite strong, didn't it? So, it's immensely insane, to say the least. Completely crazy that the way things have gone, the decisions that have been made have been awful, absolutely awful. And at some point, the people were going to revolt. I was talking to someone from the bank yesterday about it, and I said, yeah, the people are going to revolt. They look around and they see their life, they see their town, they see, their area, they see, they haven't seen their family, they haven't seen their friends. At some point, they're going to say enough. And the problem is, when they say enough and you try to take away their voice, stop them from protesting, or the police are behaving in a disgusting way against protesters when they try and protest against all of this, which is the only thing they can do because the government stopped elections. There's supposed to be local elections in May. Last year, the government cancelled the local elections. They're trying to cancel them again. Why? Because they pretty much know they're going to get stuffed. But because of COVID, they have the powers to cancel these May elections. They don't need to. The reason why they don't need to is because, well, the Conservative Party don't need to, because the Labour Party aren't exactly a party that's going to challenge. That's a certainty. There is no opposition party, really. So there's nowhere really that the votes are going to go to. Most likely, there'll be a lot of apathy. So there'll be an awful lot of people that don't vote, which would be a message in itself. But that's most likely what's going to happen if there was local elections in May. People just wouldn't go out and vote, not because of COVID, but because they think all the politicians have done an awful job. Because they have. But as I say, politicians and the police have taken away people's ability to do anything about the politicians. They've taken away the people's voice. They've taken everything from the people, basically. People have no life. They have a lot of young people, certainly people 21 and under. They're far more hopeless now than they've ever been about there ever being even a decent future for them. And it's the politicians of today that have caused that in the way that they've handled this situation. It's a problem. It really is a problem. How they avoid all that anarchy, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, unless they go for a completely military lockdown, which doing that, geez, that's going to have an impact. I can't see any other way forward. Because the problem is you can't trust the police to manage the protesters because the police tend to get emotional and tend to allow their emotions to rule and tend to get angry and offended by what's going on and hit out, which when you have that, then you're going to have people doing the same against them. And yeah, excuse me, I'm sorry, but it's far worse when the police hit out than it is when the people hit out against the police. The police are there. Their job is to not only obey the law, but to make sure that other people obey the law. So therefore, if they're breaking the law, how can you expect anyone else not to? It's utterly and totally insane. The madness is just phenomenal, really. But at the moment, we're heading towards something that is potentially incredibly bad. What that's going to end up as, we don't know. We have no idea whatsoever as to what the outcome of that's going to be. But we're going to find out soon. I mean, this officer was saying all that anarchy by the end of 2021. I think by the end of the summer. I mean, depends. If we have a rainy summer, probably not. If we have a very sunny summer, then yeah. Most likely, because especially if the government is trying to control people, and stop them from going out, then yeah, problem. That is seriously not going to be good in any way, shape, or form. That's going to be a problem. And yeah, best thing to do if you can, take your car, take a tent, go somewhere in the country, go away from the city centres where all this anarchy is going to be focused. Stay away from those areas. Get out of Dodge. Definitely. Being involved in that, not a good situation. Not a good situation. You've seen so many occasions where police in the UK and the rest of the world have handled protesters so incredibly badly. You're asking for trouble. You are seriously asking for trouble when you keep on doing it. As I say, if you can't handle your emotions, don't expect the people out there who aren't police, who aren't here doing the job, don't expect them to control theirs. I got annoyed when I saw the police kicking that bloke. I responded to the tweet by Julia herself. Julia HartleyBrewer was the one who put the tweet of the images of the police officer doing that. And basically, I said something which, this is why I can understand what people are going through, because I said even then, do protesters understand that they outnumber the police? When the police are behaving like this, you outnumber them. You can stop them from doing that. My response was a response of emotion. My response to her tweet, that is. But you can certainly see in Bristol that a lot of people have taken that same belief but put it into action. But police have got to take responsibility for their part in this. The government have got to take responsibility for their part in this. Difficult to say the least. But yeah, it's possible we won't. But as I say, if we get a rainy summer, then that's the best thing we can hope for. Really, that will keep people indoors. Would be more likely to. But a good summer where the weather's good and where the police are trying to stop people from going out and harassing people, that's the last thing you need. Seriously, that's going to just make tensions worse and worse. Well, basically, we're in a situation now where pretty much the whole of the population is being harassed the same way as the brown people were being harassed in the late 90s, early 2000s in Brixton. And then you had the Brixton riots that came from that because the police were harassing the people on a daily basis. Well, because of COVID, the police are harassing people on a daily basis. One second. So potentially we're facing something very similar to that, maybe. There's still time where that can be changed, where things can be turned around. Will there be? Don't know. Well, I've said in other videos, this is the devil's kingdom. And what we saw in Bristol was the devil's kingdom. We saw anger, we saw hatred, we saw vileness. And that's what the devil's kingdom is all about. Is he going to allow things to calm down? Don't know. Can God get in there and stop things? Don't know if he wants to. No idea. Maybe as a consequence of COVID and the lockdowns and all the rest. Maybe it's a case where the lid has been put on the kettle and the kettle has been boiling and it's going to blow its top. Maybe the top needs to be blown before the whole thing explodes. Who knows? There you go. You take care. God bless. I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.